Hello, Refuge family. I'm so excited to get to talk with you during the season we call Lent as we prepare our hearts for Easter. Our devotional today is entitled The Fast That I Have Chosen, and it comes from Isaiah 58. Let's read the word of the Lord. It says in verse 1, "Shout with the voice of a trumpet blast. Shout aloud, don't be timid. Tell my people Israel of their sins. Yet they act so pious. They come to the temple every day and seem delighted to learn about me. They act like a righteous nation that would never abandon the laws of its God. They ask me to take action on their behalf, pretending they want to be near me." These are the same Israelites that we read about during the time of Moses, just complaining and turning their hearts inward and losing their focus. They say in verse 3, "We have fasted before you," they say. "Why aren't you impressed? We've been very hard on ourselves, and you don't even notice." It reminds me of a story I heard of a very faithful worker in a factory for 24 years. He did the same job. He worked very hard. He was diligent. He showed up on time. He did as he was asked, and he thought to himself, I have 24 years of experience. I'm going to ask for a raise. So he goes to his boss, asks for a raise, and his boss tells him, "Dear sir, you don't have 24 years of experience. You have one experience for the last 24 years. Do you feel the sting in that? How does that relate to the church? I go to church. I read my word. I tithe. I even say my bedtime prayers. How come I don't have the things I need? How come my car doesn't work? How come I don't have a good job? What did I do to deserve this?" Oh, let's watch out, church. Let's keep our motives pure. Let's keep Jesus at the center of it all. After all, he is our bridegroom and he is our first love. You see, I was born on a Tuesday. I went to church on a Sunday, so I was 5 days old the first time I went to church. But that does not make me any more of a Christian than anyone else who professes to love the Lord. It's not what we do on the outside. And so this worship, this fasting that we're speaking about in Isaiah 58 is really God telling us to examine our hearts. Let's see what he tells us down in verse 6. "This is the kind of fasting I want. Free those who are wrongly imprisoned. Lighten the burdens of those who work for you, and let the oppressed go free, and remove the chains that bind people. Share your food with the hungry, and give shelter to the homeless. Give clothes to those who need them. Do not hide from relatives who need your help." You see, the Israelites were fasting, but God had only instituted one fast, and it was the Day of Atonement. But here you see the religious people one-upping each other. I'm not just going to do one day a year. I'm going to do one day a week. That surely get God's attention. And then you see someone else, well, I'm going to do 2 days of fasting every week and the Day of Atonement. That will really get me close to God and get his attention. Kind of putting God in debt to you. And that's not how it works. God doesn't owe us anything. He gave us everything when he gave us Jesus on the cross. You see, anytime we get caught up in religious performance that doesn't alter who we are internally, we risk the chance of missing Jesus, of becoming religious simply in practice. And God says, no, that's not the kind of fast that I want. That's not the kind of worship that I require. We are here to help the helpless and the hopeless and the homeless. And if you go and read in Matthew 6:16, you'll see that the word of the Lord confirms itself when Jesus speaks to his followers. No, this is not the kind of fast that God and Jesus require of us. Down at the end of this chapter, God takes us down another journey through Isaiah, talking about the day of rest, what we call Sabbath. And why does he tie the Sabbath in with this talk to Israel about fasting and improper worship? Because we are to find our rest in him. We are to feast on his inheritance. So let's be careful how we worship the Lord, and let's examine our motives. Yes, it's good to do all those things that I mentioned, but no, not if we're just going through the motions. Let's examine our hearts, and let's be careful to give God the glory in all the things we say and that we do. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.